First job of today is timing gear covers for the Volvo boat engine for the MX5, as you probably know, as long as I sent the first video where you watched of my shit. Basically, without the timing covers, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to line up the cam belt correctly, because the timing covers have quite handy, as you can probably see there, timing markings on them. So they got them there. Annoyingly, this aftermarket pulley I've got hasn't got the markings, so I'm going to put one of the originals back on for a minute, line it up, and then make the mark on this one. So yeah, it's got that, and on the top half it's also got one there which lines up with that. So basically it makes it a hell of a lot easier to have them on there. All you realistically need is the back bit, because it's got that, and the bottom front bit, because it's got that. But just because, to be honest, I find it amusing, I want to run this front bit because it says B200 FT, as in the 2 litre, you know, 150 brake model. So if anyone asks me who don't know any better, and that'd be a lot of people, I'm just going to tell them it's a 2 litre. So yeah, B200 FT. This normally goes further down like that, but because basically it covers the whole lot, because obviously it's a cover to stop any shit getting in it. Not like it's very likely to, but you never know. Unfortunately, with that there, it means to get the top cover off, to fuck about with the cam belt, tensioner, that kind of stuff, you have to remove the water pump pulley and the auxiliary belts. And yeah, it's not a big job, but I'm trying to make this car as simple as possible, and I can't be fucking dealing with that. So I've trimmed off this bottom bit. I mean, to be honest, I'm happy to run with nothing. This is how the Volvo is, like this. It's only the bits I need for the timing, but I want to keep this just because it says B200 FT on it, to be honest. I like the sticker. So and then obviously this bit just bolts on there and there. Happy days. It used to bolt on there, but it seems that bit has died. So yeah, that is the first job complete. I have pretty much finished painting all the front suspension and subframe and shit now, so I just got to leave all that to dry, because this is the other side. You saw the first side in the other video. I flipped over, painted it again, got to leave that to dry. It won't be today. So in the meantime, I've been emptying out the engine bay of the wiring. I have literally just removed everything and hung it over the sides. There's very little of that I'm going to need, to be honest, so but I can worry about that after. Literally, you got the main power line that goes under the car to the battery, because it's at the back, the headlamps, the horn, I suppose. Bugger all else really going to be used on this setup, to be perfectly honest. Another thing I've just been messing about with is throttle body. This is a standard Volvo one, and as with most cars, you see people fitting bigger throttle bodies because they think it helps. And I always see it on Volvos. They're always saying, oh, throttle body's so small and all that. So I just took it apart and measured it. 55mm. Bearing in mind, like a 70mm throttle body is proven at like 1500 odd horsepower. I'm not really convinced I need to go bigger than 55. In fact, I'm fairly certain I'm not. And if you go too big on a throttle body, you fuck up throttle control, because for every little opening, the amount of extra airflow is massive. So you end up with like shit control, plus almost no difference in power between a tiny bit open and fully open, because it's already maxed out the airflow long before wide open throttle. So, to be honest, standard want to do. I ain't spending money for nothing, and I'm pretty convinced there will be no need. So, done. by the wonders of duct tape, I've mocked up how the inlet is gonna be. Well, where the throttle's gonna be at least. Obviously I need injector bosses welded on here. I'm still in two minds where I want to put them. Obviously standard cars have got them as close to the port as possible, but race cars tend to have them further back because it gives more chance for the fuel to cool the inlet charge down, and technically it's more responsive there. But if you look at like even NA cars with throttle bodies, often the injectors are, you know, at least this far back, so I don't reckon, well, depending on fitment, I'm going to have them right there. I wouldn't mind them maybe here, but whatever, worry about that closer to the time. This is roughly how the throttle setup's going to be. The throttle will be more like there, and it'll be a 90 off there, like 55mm internally, 55, 60, whatever, because the throttle body's 55. Then a straight pipe to there. This also makes it a damn sight easier to set up idle too, because the idle screw is now easily there, where it's a pain in the ass on a standard car. But yeah, this is roughly how I want it, and well, I know these flow incredibly equally, so this should work really well. So yeah, easy, and looks quite smart as well. I think as it's me, I want to run anti-lag like I always do. Proper rally anti-lag, I mean, not just bullshit, you know, launch control and all that dickheads call anti-lag. This time I don't think I'm going to go to the complication of being like doing fresh air anti-lag direct into the exhaust manifold. I'm going to do the good old throttle bypass, and I reckon maybe use two of these Bosch valves. They flow quite a bit. I reckon two of them will be adequate. I mean, you know, I'm open to something different, but I've just got these kicking around and I know they're decent. One probably ain't enough, but two will be fine. So yeah, I'll probably run them, I don't know, maybe mount them something along the lines of like that, so they go into ports there. I want them somewhere, you could hide them away, but I like this car to be as easy to work on as possible. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, because they only have to bypass the throttle, they don't have to go anywhere in particular. They could go straight back to there, they can do whatever. So, but yeah, I reckon I'm probably going to use them because they're cheap, they're common, they're reliable, they work, easy to replace. I mean, and I know somebody, well, I know quite a few people who's run that kind of thing as anti-lag valves, so fuck it, I reckon I will too. I comes in today to the workshop and Thomas has found this for me, which is an all aluminium fuel rail that's a lot bigger and better, and the ejector holes are in the correct place, and basically it's fucking perfect for what I need. Literally couldn't be any more ideal. And you know what that's from? A 1UZ, Toyota 1UZ V8, one of the later ones. And yeah, the fuel rails lines up absolutely bang on with the Volvo ports. So yeah, perfect. No need for some overpriced aftermarket rail. No need to try and cope with the shitty standard brass one. This thing, ideal. It's got a inlet one end, outlet the other, so you know, absolutely spot on. Very happy with that. And now I've cleaned up the engine bay best I can, like literally degrease the shit out of it, brake cleaner, and use the airline to blow all the crap out of it. And you know, it's as good as this gonna get. So I think now it's time to spray it. It's never gonna be perfect, but I don't actually care. It's you know, it's just has to be okay. I mean, no, even a standard car's engine bay is far from perfect. I mean, look at it. It's shit. They don't spray engine bays with any particular care. They're not. It's very thin paint, and it's, you know, bare bits and whatever. So anything I do is going to be no worse. So job done. Guess it's time for me to get cracking. Started painting the MX5's engine, well, engine bay, sorry. And to be honest, I really like it. Literally, I like this car so much more after about 1.5 cans of Halford satin black rattle can paint. Looks really good. Best thing about satin black for me is it's really easy to get a half decent finish and really easy to touch up when you got the inevitable fucking scratches and whatever. You know, you don't have to be a painting genius to get satin paint looking all right. So yeah, it's literally, I've done, well, realistically I've done 2/3 of it already, but obviously I'm gonna have to go, I'll, you know, go over everything else with a bit more once it dries. But this is where I am so far, and I really like it. Really do like it. Much better than red. Don't like red at all. So yeah, looking good. And obviously, in, you know, with the engine in silver contrasting against the black, it looked badass. So, well, the engine bay is painted. Pretty good, to be fair. I'm quite pleased with that, considering that is literally just satin black rattle cans. It's still quite shiny at the moment. It won't stay as shiny when it dries a bit. Some of this is pretty dry, so it's more of this colour. It'd be more like Thomas's car, that's satin black. But yeah, all good. A million times better than the red. So very happy with that. Been doing the wheel arches as well with you know, like underbody protection crap, but I've run out of that now, so I've had to stop. But yeah, we are officially getting there. Shame the rest of the car's still red, but I can't see that staying for too long. But what I'm basically doing now is everything so the engine can go back in. Like, obviously stuff I can't, things I can't do once the engine and suspension and whatever's back in, I need to do first. So that's why all this is happening. I think probably the next job will be for Thomas to finish with the transmission mount, actually, because once that's fully welded and done, I can do all the, you know, underbody protection shit around that, around the gearbox area, and then it can all go in. It's another day, and been doing all sorts. The MR2 engine bay is now dry, and to be honest, it looks really good. Like, I'm really impressed with that. Good old satin black. So yeah, that's good to go. So today I've been doing the suspension bushes. They're again pretty much done. I have a problem, and the problem is bloody annoying, but very small. I bought this kit as a full front and rear bush kit, and it came with like the diff bushes and everything. Unfortunately, clearly what they class as full and I class as full ain't the fucking same. Because yeah, it come with all the front bushes for the suspension, all the rear bushes for, bushes for the suspension, all the diff bushes, but no steering rack bushes. So, and I can't do them once the engine's in, because the engine's in the way of the rack. So yeah, more delays. I can't put the engine in yet because I ain't got no rack bushes. So, but whatever, it's progress. It's minor, it's slightly annoying, but it's not a big deal. Also been fucking about with this, just doing a few touches, I moved the rear cam seal plug thingy out a bit because it was recessed a little, and to make a plate to make sure it stays in, it needs to be flush realistically, so I've done that quite easy. And I've mostly been fucking about with the front because, wow, making sure the pulleys do everything, lining everything up timing gear wise, but also just making sure everything was clear. While I was sort of searching through my shit, I found this, which is basically the Volvo Penta bottom section, and to be fair, it looks better than black plastic. Unfortunately, because of the slight difference in how a Volvo Penta setup, like the belt setup works, it wouldn't clear the fucking pulleys. Like, well, the belts, the pulleys would go on fine, but the belt, it just wouldn't go on like that. It would have to be totally rearranged. I mean, even this was, there was more of it than this, but I've cut some away and stuff and simplified it. It used to have a big lump coming out there and all sorts of shit, but it's a lot neater now, so I'm happy with that. So before the engine goes in, need to put the cam belt on, need to weld in a bung for the turbo oil return, and yeah, it's pretty much good to go in. Everything else can be done once it's in, or needs to be done once it's in, to be honest. But first I need all the subframe and shit put back in. I need to do that. So yeah, I could do the subframe, but I don't really want to do the subframe without all the arms in, because it's damn sight easier to assemble it complete than put that in and then put the arms in. So yeah, that can wait, but we're getting there. We're amazingly close.